Hello, King Lions. This video is intended for second graders as an introduction to the number line, or really for second grade parents as an introduction to number line. But of course it can be used by third grade. What we love about the number line is that we apply it to all types of math. We add, we subtract, we round, we even do probability, we do fractions, everything on the number line. Today we're going to focus on addition and subtraction on the number line, mainly subtraction because that's where our class tends to struggle. So we're going to look at some different subtraction problems that we can solve on the number line. We use what's called an unmarked or open number line where we don't put the numbers on it. In first grade, they would have used a number line that had, the line, and then it was like 0, 1, 2, 3. We're going to use an unmarked number line where we're going to only put the numbers on there that we need to solve the problem. So a lot of students are used to using equations to solve equations to show their thinking. This is another way to model it. They don't have to know the number line. They don't have to use the number line. They do have to be able to read a number line, and that's part of their curriculum, is using the linear model or the number line to show a problem. So even if they don't like to solve problems on it, they do have to be able to recognize what's going on. So we're going to start kind of simple, and we'll start with a second grade problem of, let's say, 91 minus 36. Now, most second graders have just started into the double digit subtraction. Subtraction tends to be harder. What we have to remember with the number line is that it is simply taking the piece of the line, and we know that a line is never ending. It goes in both directions. And so we're taking a piece of it. So we always have to make sure that the number on the left is lower than the number on the right. So we see subtraction and we automatically think backwards. So we think 91 is where we're going to start, and we can. And I always tell my kids, this is harder for me to think backwards, and I'm going to show you how I do it because it makes more sense. But they insist subtraction means to count backwards, so I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. So we're going to put 91 here because 91 is our higher number. If we're starting on 91 and we're subtracting 36, then we're going to go backwards. So I have to make sure my arrow shows backwards. I'm going to subtract 30 because I know that 91 minus 30 is 61. And then I can subtract 6, but I don't know what 61 minus 6, so I'm going to break my 6 up into 1 plus 5. And I'm going to subtract 1 to get to 60, and I'll subtract 5 to get to 55. So here's 36. This is what I subtracted. Here's my answer, 55. So 91 minus 36 is 55. I can also, and this is what I prefer to do, especially because I can apply it to making change a lot easier, is I take this problem and I turn it into an addition problem, because this is basically saying 36 plus what equals 91. So I'm going to start on 36, and my goal is to get to 91. But I'm going to think in tens. So 36 plus 4 is 40. Now I can get to 50 easily, to 90 easily by adding 50. And then I'm going to add 1 to get to 91. And here's my answer. What did I add to 36 to get to 91? I added 55. So I just solved the same problem two different ways. I got the same answer both times, so I solved it and checked it. The kids in our class are pretty quick with this, but as we learn it, they learn to say, well, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. They can add ones, they can add it by tens. 40 plus 10 is 50, plus 10 is 60, plus 10 is 70, plus 10 is 80, plus 10 is 90. So they can break it down however they want, and that's why when they do the number line, it's an easy way to see where their misunderstandings are. The greatest misconception is putting the 91, they're going to want to do this. 91 minus 30 is 61, like that. And as you can see, this is backwards. So this is a habit we have to break, and we've been working on it, but some of them are still learning. So again, what we like about this is I can solve any problem. So I can take 207 minus, I don't know, 49. Let's see how quickly I can solve that. Again, I turn this into an addition problem because my brain thinks better that way. If your brain thinks better by subtracting, then by all means subtract. I'm going to put my 49 here because I'm adding to 49. I'm adding 1 to 50. I can add another 50 to 100. I have to get to 200, so I'm going to add another 100 to 200. Plus 7 is 207. So here's my answer, 157, 58. 158. Now to check my work, I would add it, or I would solve it a different way using a number line or using equations. Some of them are really good at doing this as an equation, and they would say 49 plus 1 is 50, and then they would keep adding. Some of them do this really well. Some of them get lost in their work. So it's a matter of personal preference, what makes sense to you, how organized is your work. The big thing is that I am fighting them on is these equations are how we solve the problem. So this is especially important when it's a story problem, because when I say show an equation that represents the story, they're going to think this represents the story. This is how you solve the problem. This is the equation here. So that's one thing that we're working on. In a nutshell, that's the number line. If you want more help with the number line, I'm happy to help. Third graders are pretty adept at the number line if they like it, but they are really good at reading the number line. Some of them like to solve on there, some of them don't. I like it. It's easy to find where their mistakes are. They are really good, and the kids were really good, the ones who got it wrong, at showing us their number line, and then the other ones would kind of analyze it and find where the mistake is. So that's something you can do too. If your child is really doing this, and you can draw the number line and then make a mistake and see if they can find where your mistake is. They can be the teacher, you can be the student, and they think that's a lot of fun. So have fun with the number line. We'll touch on this again, I'm sure. But practice it. Oh, it's good for counting money too. You get to the dollar and then you're free to go, because second graders make change from $2, third graders from $5. And it's a great tool for that. So have fun subtracting. Practice, practice, practice.